But I thought Young Jeezy was part of the whole BMF movement.
I mean, he was, but it all used to be.
So what's the issue now, Blue? Like, why?
The issue now, the man running around, man, using Meech's name like, you know, it's like that, and that little thing that Meech did on the tape for him that he keep playing on repeat was from 2009. He ain't doing what he's supposed to do. He know what time it is.
Now, we had Jeezy up here a couple months ago. Jeezy said him and Meech are still cool. So he talks to Meech, and Meech talks to him about what's going on in the club scene, what's going on in the streets.
Yeah. But what about this appellate lawyer? Yeah, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, man, period. At the end of the day, you know, if you can get Meech on the phone right now, it'll be a different tune that he's singing.
So what you're saying is that Jeezy has not put up the money for the appeal for Big Meech.
Exactly. I mean, he won't do nothing, period. You know, at the end of the day, man, like I just talked to the big homie recently, and he's like, man, it's crazy that, you know, the part of the fam, the rapper that was connected with the fam that ended up having, you know, much success, you know, that's you know, he doing this thing, and he's really in a position to make a difference in Meech's life right now. He ain't really stepping up to the plate right now, and it's crazy that I got to come home, rebuild this BMF brand from ground zero and do it all on my own, you know? When we got somebody that's still running around saying that, you know, he loved man and, you know, he got him 100% and all that, it's easy for him to just step up and say, you know what, let me cut this check, man, and make sure dude all right. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the selfishness, you know, sticks in the Hollywood and the lights and the cameras. You know, it just blurs people's vision sometimes, you know?
Has anybody had a conversation with Jeezy? Have any of y'all, you know, ever stepped to him?
Hey, look, man, I hear, you know, I came home, I tracked his number down, I called him. I'm like, what up, this Blue? He like, Blue who? I say, man, this Bleu Davinci. He say, oh, what's up? I said, man, what's going on, man? Let's sit down, man, so we can chop it up and figure out the move, man, with the players. All right, let me hit you right back. So, you know, 2 days passed. My people from Detroit hit me like, man, the man got a show at the Fox Theater, call him so we can get some tickets to come. I said, all right, let me call him. I called his phone, the number was changed. I said, man, what part of the game is this? This must be overtime right here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how all the funk kind of started. You know, from then on, I just knew what it was, you know? So it is what it is. You know, I got to continue to smash, man, and do what I got to do, because at the end of the day, for real, I got Meech in my best interest. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do what I can't sit around and wait for no suckers to keep faking and putting on like they really with it when they ain't. You know what I'm saying?
But is Jeezy really speaking to Big Meech regularly?
To my knowledge, no.
When the last time you spoke to Meech?
Last night.
So as of last night, this is an issue. Meech has an issue with Young Jeezy.
It's definitely an issue. You know what I'm saying? But see, it's like this. At the end of the day, we all love Jeezy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't gonna say I hate the man or nothing like that, but my whole thing is, man, just keep it honest, man. Keep it real. If the people on your back and you can't do nothing, or you know, you set something up, or they said, you know, for us to leave you alone, you can't really help that situation, then just let it be known. Don't keep running around putting on, like, you know, to the people that you really doing something and you ain't. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a serious situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, Meech really got some action at getting back on the streets right now with this appeal. You know, he got a bunch of situations in his case that, you know, could overturn or cut his time down from some technicalities that was going on throughout his ordeal. You know what I'm saying? And it don't take that much. It ain't like it cost $300,000 to, you know, to put it back together and, you know, and get this situation back to the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, I know people be busy and people got stuff to do, but it don't take, you know, dude, he on the internet talking about, you know, he finna send a lawyer to Boosie. No disrespect to Boosie, you know what I'm saying? Because we all got love for Boosie and everything, but you know, you run around claiming this man's name all the time in the street. Everywhere you go, you use his name for your street credibility. But at the end of the day, I'm on my way to the Wells Fargo Bank, like, what, 45 minutes after I get off this phone and sit down with my advisor to go send some money to the attorney. You know what I'm saying?
Now, also, let me ask you a question. There's going to be 1,000,001 people we're talking to Bleu Davinci that say Blue is just doing this to get some kind of to get the press behind him. Now, how come? Because the first thing they're going to say is, how come you and Jeezy didn't have this conversation together, opposed to putting it on air?
Yeah, I tried. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep running around and chasing nobody. I ain't telling him, look, man, come do a record with. Don't walk me in the label or something. I ain't asking him nothing like that. I can do all that on my own. That ain't no problem. But, my whole thing with him is Meech. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is I'm saying, look, man, and he probably listening or got somebody listening. Look, step up to the plate, man, and do what you're supposed to be doing
well,
at
Blue,
the end of the day.
Well, Blue, if what you're saying is true, you think maybe Jeezy might just be, might have just distanced himself because of all the heat that was on BMF? Like maybe let me lay low for a second so I can avoid getting a conspiracy charge or something?
I mean, that's what scary people do. It's all good when you're out popping bottles and riding Ferraris that you ain't bought and Porsche trucks that you ain't bought, and running through the streets and yelling out the three letters and dealing with people in the street. But it's a different story when it get hard. Everybody can't weather the storm. You know what I'm saying?
But wouldn't you want somebody on the street to keep the name alive, especially somebody that's in the position Jeezy in? You wouldn't want to see him get locked up.
Nah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but don't act like you with it and you ain't with it, because we don't need that. That's not a friend. A friend to me is somebody that's down through thick and thin, man.
Now, when you did get released, because you were in prison for what, 5 years?
Well, 4 years, 10 months. 4
years and 10 months. When you came home, so who was the first person that you reached out to when you got out?
The first person I reached out to when I got out had to be Jeezy, as far as from an artist standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about doing no music. It was about sitting down and trying to figure out the situation that was going on with Meech.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question. If, as close as Jeezy was to the situation, how did he avoid getting, indicted and all that good stuff?
Man, listen, man, that's the $1 million question. The man name and more paperwork than me. So how he got out of that, I don't have an answer to. I ain't never seen nothing like it. From my understanding, with people, making statements and doing all that, you're getting wrapped up in it, period. So to skate something like that, I don't know.
Now, did you have problems with Jeezy before you went to prison as well?
I mean, yeah, we did have some issues before because, when I did the Streets on Lock record with me, Fab, and Jeezy, I came to New York, I shot the video, I started my radio promo, I went and grabbed an independent distribution deal with Koch, so I was putting a lot of money into that project. The man never signed off on my record. Def Jam signed off for Jeezy, Fabulous signed off, Clue and them signed off for the record, but I never got a signature from Jeezy. Radio 1 Clear Channel, they pulled my record from radio. You know what I'm saying? So that was my initial problem. I'm like, okay, why would you come to my home, record a record, come shoot the video, know that I'm spending the money on doing this as a promo, this is a single, and then not sign off on it? It's like sabotage. It's like personally, I feel like he never wanted me in that position. Why are you so scared for me to be in position? I don't understand. But, that's where my initial problem came in at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you were kind of the first rapper on BMF, but was it you or Jeezy that was the first rapper?
I'm the sole artist of BMF Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy was around BMF because of Blue. The contrary to popular belief or whatever, it was me that paid attention to what Jeezy was doing. Meech and them didn't know who he was. None of my homeboys knew what he was doing. My ear was to the street. I heard a couple records that I liked on him. Me and Baby D was riding. Baby D showed me him one night, like, that's the dude whose song you be listening to right there. And that's how I got at him. And that's how he became affiliated with my family.
So let me ask you a question. When you say Jeezy's name is in paperwork, what you mean Jeezy's name is in the paperwork?
I don't think his name is in paperwork. I got the paperwork.
As far as what? Like, he's not signing those statements against them.
As far as people making statements and telling on what was going on and what they were seeing was going on, his name was brought up in the paperwork.
Got you.
But they're also saying that doesn't mean he's still in the clear right now, right? There are still charges that could be brought against him in the future.
I don't know. I'm not an attorney, so I really don't know how that part goes. I don't know. But, you know, at the end of the day, he skated it, and I don't have a problem with him skating it. My whole thing is this. At the end of the day, man, just do what you know you should be doing, period. What you know you should be doing. You playing with a check. You know, you got the bread. It's not a problem. Just make a phone call, a wire transfer to an attorney, and make sure that the proper paperwork for Meech is getting processed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to come home and I got to holler at different people to really put this check together to do it. When the man that say he love him so much and the man that's running around the streets, you know, claiming to be that for Meech ain't doing what he really should be doing. See, that's my whole issue.
So you're not a disgruntled rapper. You're not trying to get a verse from Jeezy. You're not trying to get Jeezy to walk you through no label. You just want him to put up the money for Meech.
I still got verses from Jeezy that people never heard. That ain't no problem. I mean, hey, look, I'm looking for the verse from French Montana and Ricky Rose right now. People that's really, really popping that matter right now. You know what I'm saying? And these are people that I sit around talk to, and everything is G. You know what I'm saying? Everything is good. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't splitting no verse from Jeezy. That don't make or break me.
So you want all the only way this issue could be resolved is if Jeezy put up the money for Big Meech's appeal.
Nah, the only way this issue could be resolved is, man, just stop being fake. Period. For real, right now we good on the money. You know, that's a past issue. But my whole thing is, man, keep the name out your mouth if you ain't with it.
This issue is never going to be resolved.
Man running around yelling my baby brother named Baby Blue, rest in peace, on these records. But what happened at the funeral? He never came. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to run around and scream out this and say this name and say that name. Man, listen here. At the end of the day, man, you ain't with it, man. Leave it alone.
So could you and Jeezy ever be peoples again?
Hell no. That ain't gonna happen. You can hear it in his voice.
He right. Hell no. I'm good.
Ain't gonna happen.
I'm straight.
I mean,
you let me say something about it, man. You know, we need to get it together. Man, that's easy. It's easier said than done, man. You know, this scar is hard to be replaced, man, because of the string of events. I'm gonna say something else. You know, it was a phone call, you know, between some other parties I won't mention, and the man get on the phone and say, man, that nigga Meech think I'ma send him. I mean, this dude Meech, we gonna edit. This dude Meech think I'ma send him X, Y, and Z a month. Man, I ain't finna be doing all that. Well, man, then just leave the man alone. Tell him, look, man, I'm not finna do nothing. I can't do nothing. I'm not in a position where I could do nothing, man. And that's just it. And leave it at that. I mean, I could respect that more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to do this or you have to do that.